Hello everyone, welcome back to Chesopedia. In today's video, we are all going to solve chess puzzles on chess.com website. This website is free to access and one can play chess games, solve puzzles, learn lessons and many more. I'll be linking the website below in the description box so you can check it out. So guys, let's get straight into the video and solve puzzles. You can always pause the video anytime and solve with me. So start. So this puzzle is with white and it is white to move. As we can see, this is an end game puzzle and white has one pawn and a bishop, whereas black has two pawns and a knight. So basically in material black is plus, but here as we can see that this pawn is trying to go upwards. So this is kind of advanced pawn, so we can take benefit of it. So let's think, how can we take? First of all, there is no check that can attack black. And nextly, let's see what if we move the pawn first. If we move the pawn, then black is gonna play knight to d4 and then he will capture our knight on pawn on e6 with the check on c6. So here, let's say I will play the move bishop to e3. Then he can play the move f4 and then it is attacking my bishop, which I don't think is great move. So I think let's see what if we play bishop to e3 check. If we play bishop to e3, then he can play f4. But after let's say he play f4 attacking our bishop, then we can play the move e6. And now we are threatening to push the queen with a check on king. So after bishop to e3, f4, after we play e6, if he takes our bishop, then e7, and now the queen is unstoppable. If we play king to f7, then king to d7, and it's winning for white. So let's go and check out if bishop e3 is the right move. Yes, it's the correct move. And now he plays the move f4. As we see, e6 should be winning. So let's go and check it out. e6 is winning. So now king to f6. Now it is a different move. We didn't thought of this, but maybe it is winning. So now it's attacking up a pawn on e6. So I think the best move is to move with the king. And I don't think king d5 is a great move because then king to e7 and black is better simply. So here I think either king d6 or king d7 should be the perfect move. If we play the move king to d6, then after f takes e3, e7, then it should be winning. But if we play king to d7, then I think it's totally winning because after take we can push and it's queen instantly on the next move. So let's go with king to d7. Yes, it's correct. And now the only move e7, knight to f4 and e8 queen. And here it is not that still immediately winning, but it is not really great for black. White can just play queen e4 if he even set the pawn by knight to d5 next. So this was the first puzzle. It was an interesting puzzle as you saw, but it was not that difficult. Let's go on to the next puzzle. So here on the board is our next puzzle. So you can also solve with me. So this is white to move again, as we can see. So let's try to think what we can do out here. So let's first count the material. Here black has 3, 5 pawns and here white has 1, 2 and 4 pawns. So white is basically a pawn down. Here black has 2 knights and white has 1 bishop only. So white says that white has a bishop and a pawn down. Here black has 2 rooks and white has 2 rooks and the queen and king and king, of course. So here as we see the material that white is a pawn and a bishop down. So here the first move that comes to mind is just take the knight, which then only white will be left with a pawn minus. But let's count with something on this king because this king looks a little bit vulnerable, and after we take there should be something about that. So let's see, let's say we take h takes d7. Black could respond with rook takes g7. That's the best move, I think. If queen takes g7, then just rook takes g7 is winning a queen instantly, and it should be winning. But after h takes g7, rook to g7, I think we can still play rook to g7 and queen to g7, and then there should be, I think, queen to e4, because then this rook is attacking on g7 and this queen is lined up on the rook on b7. And then also e5 pawn is again, and we see after that is black queen on g7 is defending this rook first of all, and this pawn on e5, and there's no, remember there is no check on h6 or this bishop takes h6 is in the air. So let's go with h takes g7. Let's see if it is correct. Yes, rook takes g7 and rook takes g7 again. Queen to g7 and now queen to e4 as such. And we see that white wins the game because here this rook, actually this queen is just totally defending so many pieces. This rook is defending this pawn on e5 and also is being attacked by our white rook on g1. And also no, queen h6, as I said before, is not possible because of bishop to h6. And if queen to e7, then I think this better is f6, deflecting the queen totally, and then e5 pawn is falling in the best case. So let's go on to our next puzzle. Okay, this is again puzzle white to move. So firstly, let's count up the material. 4 pawns for black side and around 6 pawns on white side. That's interesting. Black has 2 rooks, but whereas white has no rooks. It's a kind of not that great for white, as we can see in the fact of material. Just I think black has just taken up a rook on a1, so that's maybe good for him. And now black has a bishop on h3, whereas white has a knight and a bishop in compensate of these 2 rocks. So let's see what is the main motive here. I think there should be some checkmate, of course, because this king on g5, I think it's not really a great piece because this knight is so much vulnerable. So it's in the corner and white is attacking it with all of his 3 pieces. So I think there should be a checkmate instantly. That would be a correct puzzle. So let's see first of all the checking moves for white. If white checks with queen to f4, then king to h5 is not an option because just queen to g5 is a checkmate. That's interesting. After queen to f4, bishop to g4 is a check. And after, let's say, f3, there might be something. That's why I don't think this is a great move, because it's just checking us, and then maybe this g5 kind of stuff, I don't know. So here after queen to f4, I think it's not a great move. Let's see other check. With knight to f5, then I think it's not a great move again. Why? Just because this knight is kind of helping in checkmating the king. Also, to just tell you that knight and queen form a really great attack with lonely kings. That's the case in here. So I don't think the knight to f5 is a great move to be considered. Let's see other moves. Let's say queen to e7. But after queen to e7, I think that just king to h5 is just checkmate on g5. That's not a great option. After queen to e7, let's see what is good for black. Okay, so I think after queen e7 it should be a checkmate. Why? Yes, I think it should, because after queen to e7 check, black can play king g4, but then just queen to g5 is checkmate because the bishop is helping in it. And after queen to e7 and g5, then just g5, and then this queen takes g5 is again winning. After queen e7, if king to h5, then again just queen to g5 should be winning. So let's try out if queen e7 is winning, and that I think is king to h5 and queen to g5 is a checkmate in. So another puzzle solved. Let's see another puzzle. Let's see the last puzzle. Okay. So here this is white to move. You can also try solving with me. You can pause the video and try to solve. Need time. So here it is 3, 4, 5 pawns, and white has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pawns. Here pawns. This is a bishop, 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 rook, rook, and a queen, king, and king, of course. So herein we see that black king is a little bit more pressurized because of the c6 pawn. If you see at the first glance, I think bishop takes c6 should be the move. I'm not sure yet, but basically in this position, bishop to c6 is my intuition. But let's see if rook takes c6 or bishop takes c6 is a great move. I think queen to g3 I will find this. It's really interesting though. I don't know if we should just take the material queen to g3, or we should go on with attack with rook to bishop to c6. But after bishop to c6, I'm a little bit worried that after b takes c6, rook to c6, and black could just play king to b8, and as I play queen to b4, this king to a. It's kind of really not great for white, as black has now plenty of pieces for him to defend the black king. But white has only 2 pieces left, the queen and the rook. After bishop to c6, b6, rook takes king b8, and sorry, and I have queen b4 and king 8. What is this? Two rooks, a rook on c6 and a queen on b4. That's, I don't think, many pieces for white to conquer black. So I think we should go on with queen to g3, winning kind of material on g4 and on h2. So I will go on with queen to g3. Let's check out a rook to g2, and now I think this queen to g2 is enough for us to win an exchange, and I think this should be an easy winning position for white, as white rook is totally, and white is exchange up, also threatening the pawn on g7 once the bishop moves to any square. So yeah, this is it for today. From these puzzles, we see that in the third puzzle, as we saw that this knight on d6, as in the puzzle, the knight was on d6, the bishop on d2, and the queen on f7. We saw that how the knight was not really in the checkmate involved, but it was so helping that it was protecting many squares. It was basically totally cramping the black squares like this, and four these main squares. But that was a really interesting position, and also in our first position it was very interesting to some interesting complications. So hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please don't forget to like the video and share it with everyone. Share your views and suggestions in the comments section below. If you are new to this channel, kindly check out my previous videos and consider subscribing. I'll meet you soon in the next video. Until then, keep enjoying chess.